hold on. We're working our way. We got a...
Anyway, further...
Quick drama meme. Henry Resilient's new video reveals major drama behind the scenes. Jesus, we're getting crazy on these thumbnails.
And Nick, there was a large support for Molina. Mr. Flamethrower said, any NMP viewer knows that Molina actually deserves a decent chunk of change for how she basically revitalized his channel. Another person wrote, she 100% deserves what she's owed. She carried OTK events in their channel for years.
Flashback.
Just like you have a Twitch career now because of nepotism, go ahead.
No, I have a Twitch career now because
Oh, look, Henry's like putting effort into his videos and shit now too. Good job.
I chose to. I didn't go on stream for 6 years because I didn't want to. Now I finally chose to be on stream. So I think you have a Twitch career now because of nepotism.
I do, yeah.
I chose to come on here.
Well, because of chance in Greek.
False, because you were sitting at 200 viewers whenever you live with chance. Then I came on your stream and now you're fine.
I see that you made me?
End of flashback.
Some people had no idea they were married.
You didn't tell us you were married? Yeah. Well, that's true. That's actually pretty, I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty impressive that we kept it a secret this long. And dude, round of applause for everyone in Austin who knew, who didn't leak anything. Just legendary play. Just everyone kept it a secret that long, dude.
He also said that him and Molina does not want to talk about their divorce online. However, at every moment without being solicited for the divorce, he continues to farm it every chance he gets, which is odd considering him and Molina had no plan of talking about it.
He says divorce, talk about it, we are waiting. No, I'm not gonna talk about it.
Nick, what's something you've never told chat?
Well, I never told him straight up, hey, I'm married.
I just had to get leaked. That was crazy.
I never told him.
Yeah, but now everyone knows.
Go through a divorce. He says divorce, talk about it, we are waiting. No, I'm not gonna talk about it.
You didn't hear him go through a divorce, actually.
I heard about that, but I don't believe what I see on Twitter.
Oh, it's all real.
Damn.
Yeah. It's right now. That's gone.
A few moments later.
The funny is,
This entire thing is farming stuff.
So I'm technically married.
Why would you bring that up?
He says divorce, talk about it, we are waiting. No, I'm not gonna talk about it. That is not what Malena and I want to do, so.
I like the fact that he acts as her spokesperson because he knows she is not going to go live to dispute anything he says, but the divorce is getting bad. Nick often talks about how there is no drama and there's no fighting.
But I can't say there's no like fighting or anything, so if anyone's looking for fighting or drama, it's not there.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
I am here to tell you that is not true. It actually looks like the complete opposite. There's a ton of fighting and potentially some abuse going on according to Molina. As someone who went through divorce, I find it odd for them not to be fighting, that they're still not in agreement on how their assets should.
As somebody who has dealt with similar situations here, I don't think Nick is saying we're not fighting like over the divorce, like fighting over assets or whatever. I think Nick is just saying they don't want to like publicly besmirch each other or have like it be a big public back and forth drama thing, which that's not inconsistent with them actually fighting over the divorce.
Should be divided. And from the looks of Molina's amended divorce petition, they are far from an agreement. When Nick filed a motion to seal the court documents, people will and have assumed it's to keep his fans or even me from covering the divorce proceedings. That is far from the case. I think he proactively filed this motion to cover up Molina accusing him of financial abuse in her recent court file case. I think he sealed the court documents, people will, and from the looks of Molina's amended divorce petition, they are far from an agreement. When Nick filed a motion to seal the court documents, people will and have assumed it's to keep his fans or even me from covering the divorce proceedings. That is far from the case. I think he proactively filed this motion to cover up Molina accusing him of financial abuse in her recent court file.
Listen, you can put whatever you want in a complaint, literally. You could even lie about dates if you wanted to, okay? You can literally put whatever you want in a complaint. It doesn't matter. To say, I don't like it when people utilize parts of the legal system available to you and then they assume guilt because you're utilizing that part of a system. When you say, oh, he's stealing it because he wants to hide the abuse, he could just be stealing it because he don't want, like you said, everybody like covering it and obsessing over every single new document that drops, right? That could literally just be it, which would like be a fair thing, I would imagine.
And a slew of requests she's asking the judge to grant her immediately. Hi, I'm Henry Resilient and I cover court documents of your favorite streamers, and today we'll look at Nick's motions to seal the divorce as well as Molina's amended petition for divorce and her request for temporary orders, and why Molina is likely to walk away from the divorce with easily $8 to $13 million, if not more. After my video dropped and right before some LSF moderator deleted the post about their divorce.
This is completely disrespectful, but Nick and the whole squad, get back with you. You guys are being given a treatment that others are not being given. It's not.
Would you apply the same logic to the Finkelstein doc that you reviewed on stream? I don't know what you're asking me. What logic would I not apply to that?
Apply across the board. Everybody gets shit on, and y'all get off easy because you guys control the mods.
Nick went on to address my video in his Discord server. He told his Discord I was desperate for content, calling me pathetic, saying there was nothing to hide because he already said what's going on publicly, even saying that he is not going to be saving my career, accusing me of spreading misinformation, including what I now know to be Soda's house, and let's not forget my favorite one of them all, Nick Palome hurting my feelings, calling me a huge leech. To my defense, my channel was birthed out of my need to make money to pay for my divorce. I cover my own divorce court documents along with R&B singer, actor Tyrese's divorce.
There's no fucking way Molina walks away with 8 to 12 million. I think Nick's net worth is probably somewhere around 15 million at most. There's no way he's worth worth more just by being a Twitch streamer? No, I have no idea what he's worth, and I don't know what she would even be entitled to here. I mean, like, this is a really interesting divorce case, I think, because you have a situation where somebody probably legitimately did help the career of another person, and probably legitimately did forego their own education and career opportunities, and they were married, I think possibly for over 5 years, which I think is in Florida makes it a longer term marriage. Like, there's a difference between less than 5 or over 5, I think, or it might be over 3 or less than 3 in most states. I don't remember, but so there's a lot of implications, I think, for this. When I say implications, it's an interesting result to follow, I guess.
Divorce, the late Green Ranger Jason David Frank's divorce, and I gained popularity covering XQC's RP divorce with the hopes of educating men on how divorce can ruin a man. As a sign of good faith, I donated 5 subs, and his chat seemed to enjoy it.
I was recently wondering why you never debated Mehdi Hassan on Israel versus Palestine. Any thoughts? He said he didn't want to have a debate with me on that topic, so...
Educate men on how divorce can ruin a man. As a sign of good faith, I donated 5 subs, and his chat seemed to enjoy it.
It's Henry Resilient. Thank you, Henry, for the 5 gifted. Is that actually you? Oh my God. Is it? Let's see if it's actually him. It is. Wow. Thanks, Henry. Appreciate it. Thank you for the video too, man. Thanks, dog.
I thought everything was cool, so I donated my Prime sub, only to be told not to make any more videos about Nick.
Henry, thanks for the Prime, dog. Please stop making videos about me. God help me.
He often says he doesn't care about the divorce, then why would he want me to stop making videos when I just post what the court docs say? Even XQC knows this.
That's a truthful statement.
Getting back to Nick and Molina's divorce, there was drama from the beginning with Molina requesting the court to divide the assets. First, Nick saying,
what is this B-roll?
Getting back to Nick and Molina's divorce, there was drama.
What is this B-roll footage? Odds that the Tates go back to jail after the Florida AG launches investigations into them. This is my stance on all of that, because I don't know if this will, because I see people telling me this a lot today. Romania was doing the investigation into the Tates. I don't know what the fuck is going on with their investigation or why they've let them travel or whatever the fuck else. I think Romania should do their investigation. Whatever they come up with, they should go through their process. And then after that, it's done. The idea that every time the Tates travel to a new place, everybody else is going to do their own investigations, unless there's like precedence for that, I think it's just really cringe. It's virtue signaling. Like, I don't know why the U.S. would be investigating it. I don't even know what the jurisdiction, or if there's even a nexus there at all, unless some of the women came from the U.S. maybe, and they're like it's stupid. I think the Florida AG is just doing this because DeSantis wants to virtue signal about how much he doesn't like the moral degradation of sex traffickers or whatever bullshit. But yeah, I don't know why Florida is doing its own investigation. It seems cringe and stupid to me. I don't know why. Unless they have like probable cause because some other crime was brought up or alleged against them.
From the beginning, with Molina requesting the court to divide the assets. First, Nick saying he hopes that they will come to an agreement. When there is truly no drama, a divorce petition. And with Molina requesting the court to divide the
petition requests the court to divide the estate of petitioner respondent in a manner the court deems just and right, as provided by law.
Assets. First, Nick.
I think this is just a bog standard. This is like a boilerplate statement, of course, that I think you have on every single divorce thing, right? I want the court to divide the estate in a manner that's not just and not right, as provided by bird law, right? Like, okay.
Saying he hopes that they will come to an agreement. When there is truly no drama, a divorce petition is often entered with a divorce settlement that both parties have agreed to. It will detail how splitting the assets is going to be, similar to what happened with Tom Brady and Gisele Bündchen when their divorce was finalized in under a week. Here we are with Molina and Nick, and she filed for divorce January 16th, and 6 weeks later, there is still no divorce settlement entered, and there will not be one entered for a while. On February 18th, Nick filed a motion to seal the court documents, but is not likely to go in his favor. In his opening sentences, he states the document.
I think the only thing it shows is that the parties haven't agreed to anything. If nothing else was filed, yeah, which is weird. I don't know. Well, I guess the out of court conversation must have been really contentious if they're going to go fight about it in court, which is unfortunate because now they're both just wasting money. But
documents filed in this case are not subject to the standards for sealing court records. The reason why divorce records are not sealed is for judiciary scrutiny, as in the public has a right to see how a judge rules based on the court filings.
So it is actually not so easy to seal a court file. Court file is public record, and it is in public interest to keep all judicial procedures publicly.
That's kind of true. It really depends, I think, on what you're talking about, though. Things related to, I believe, minors and I think sex crimes, you can get, I think, things like this sealed more because there's a compelling interest on the behalf of people involved for things to not be made like super public.
Assume you and your spouse go to the court and say, hey, we want to seal the records. More likely than not, unless you are a celebrity or, you have some trade secrets in the divorce record, the court will deny sealing the court record.
In 12 years, I haven't seen any court filing being sealed.
Secondly, he states that sealing the court records does not have an adverse effect on public health or safety, and the records do not involve matters that should be available to the general public. Nick may be a celebrity in Austin, Texas, and even on YouTube and Twitch Spaces, but in the grand scheme of things, I'm not sure his local celebrity status will be enough to seal the court records. His lawyer should have explained this to him, but I thought this was a misstep considering all the financial information will not be available to the public anyway. Furthermore,
I don't know how this is a misstep. It's a pretrial motion. I mean, you file it. If they don't grant it, then they don't grant it. I don't think you lose anything for it, other than the Leon, how much do you think you guys, how many billable hours is it to draft a motion like this? It's got to be like half an hour, right? There's no way they would charge you more than that, no?
For a guy with nothing to hide, he sure wants to hide these court filings. Also, notice that it's just him as opposed to...
Also, fuck, that's such a bad faith thing by Henry to say there. God, I hate everything having to do with legal coverage online now. It actually drives me insane.
...to the public anyway. Furthermore, for a guy with nothing to hide, he sure wants to hide these court filings.
That's such a scumbag. For a guy with nothing to hide, it's crazy that, like, you don't take your stream camera with you into the bathroom when you take a shit and zoom in on your fucking asshole. What's going... like... Okay, dude.
Also, notice that it's just him as opposed to them being in agreement to seal the court filings. The hard truth is I am not sure Molina wants the court records to be sealed because she wants the world to see him how she does without making a video online, knowing that his court documents will be public. Even on the odd chance that Nick is successful in sealing the court records, thanks to the #1 juicer, XQC records were sealed early on, but that stopped absolutely nothing. Moving on.
I don't even know if that's true. I don't know if this could be a joint motion. I don't know if both sides would have to file a motion for the records to be sealed or if one side can just file it. I don't know what the answer is. But...
Now, let's discuss Molina's first amended petition for divorce and her request for temporary orders. There were some significant changes indicating major drama. In the first petition, she specifically requested a judge divide their estate. Now she believes that they will come to an agreement.
Why wouldn't they seal it, though? I hate the marriage in this country. Well, usually we want stuff to be public and open for other people to look at to see. It's good for case law to have precedents, right? To see, well, how was this case settled or what did this look like? Give people an idea of what to expect, which eases pressure on the courts a little bit. And we just generally don't want a bunch of like, imagine you go to some courthouse and you're like, man, there's a lot of cases that are being filed in this county. What's going on? And the courthouse is like, all those cases are sealed. You're not allowed to look at anything. So, okay, well, that's a little bit weird.
Agreement, but if they do not, she still wants the court to divide their estate. Also, if the court divides their estate, she wants the courts to consider the following division of parties' estates. She wants the judge to consider Nick Palome's economic and financial abuse of her. As I said earlier in the video, she is allegedly Nick's financial abuse victim. You see, Texas is one of those rare states that if a spouse can prove marital misconduct, which is what financial abuse will fall under, instead of giving Molina 50% of the community property, the judge can award her the majority of the community property, as in way more than 50%.
But I can't say there's no like fighting or anything. So if anyone's looking for fighting or drama, it's not there.
Financial abuse is one of the hardest forms of domestic violence to overcome. In some of the more covert cases, you don't even know that you're being financially abused until it's too late. Here are some of the more overt ways that a victim can be financially abused, and then we'll get into the sneaky covert ways. Restricting access to money or withholding bank information. Forcing a victim to turn over their entire paycheck. Demanding to control how your income is spent. Forbidding the victim from working at all. Sabotaging the victim's employment by making them miss work or jeopardizing their job. Forcing them to work in the family business without proper compensation or compensation at all. Creating debt in the victim's name without their knowledge or consent. Forcing the victim to take on loans or debts and then controlling the repayment process. Forcing the victim to sign financial documents without understanding the consequences. And now, the covert ways. Monitoring or scrutinizing the victim's spending. Limiting the victim's access to financial information like account information or passwords. Controlling their access to transportation that helps them get to and from work. Denying them the ability to make independent financial decisions. Using guilt or emotional manipulation to coerce the victim into giving money or assets. Hiding or diverting money from joint accounts without the victim's knowledge. Sabotaging the victim's attempts to save money or build their own financial independence. Making the victim feel financially dependent. Using financial generosity as a means to control, like gift giving, but with strings attached. Or minimizing the victim's financial contributions or accomplishments. This is definitely not a comprehensive list. Abusers do this to maintain financial control so that you can't leave. The whole point is power and control. They want to keep you.
There are many different ways a person can be financially abused, but it sounds like he took her off or limited her access to joint accounts. This will also come up again in her filing. Molina specifically requested should their divorce go to trial, she wants the judge to consider Nick has not granted her access to their community property accounts, including for the purpose of insight and access to such community funds. Imagine being mid-divorce and you see your soon-to-be ex-husband buying his new girlfriend an $11,000 Chanel bag with your money.
What is that? Are we serious right now? And I see that motherfucker in the back. He can't even hide. Oh, my man is down. Atrocious. 11K? $11,000?
She has a legal right to know how much that bag cost and what account it came out of or what credit card it was put on because technically it's her money too.
Does this mean Catchy's Chanel bag actually belongs to Malena?
Now let's get to her list of demands she wants the judge to grant her. First, she wants the courts to grant her possession of the home she is currently residing in and to prohibit Nick from entering or remaining on the premises of the residence unless they agree he can visit or the court tells him he can. Since she is allegedly in Norway, it's rumored she purchased a house in Norway, but I cannot find any proof to substantiate that. This is typical because divorce turns friends into enemies, and the last thing she probably wants is Nick popping up on her to talk. The judge would likely grant this request. Second, she wants the judge to order Nick to buy her a car that Nick cannot take control of and for him to pay the car insurance on the vehicle. Sounds like wherever she is, she's without a car. She's married to a multi-millionaire and she has no car of her own. This is pretty sad. The judge may grant her this, but whatever amount that is awarded to her may end up coming out of her final settlement. So if the judge orders Nick to pay her a lump sum of $50,000 for a car, the divorce settlement number will be minus $50,000. Third, she wants the court to know that she does not want Nick's car at all. I like that she made this point because technically it's half her car. This includes the beloved GTR and the Escalade. It's safe to say the judge will grant this request also. Fourth, this is a big one. She wants the judge
I don't know if you can say it's safe to say the court will grant this, because I feel like this is going to be something that if this is an injunction, then the other side, I think, gets to respond. I don't know what like the standard is for injunctions to be granted in like divorce cases or civil cases, but I don't think, unless we've seen Nick's response, like we have no way of knowing. Like there's no evidence at this point, right? This is just boards on paper. Like she could, every single thing she is saying could be a lie. She could be saying, I don't think Nick's giving me all of his account access. And it's like, why do you think that? I think he's got 5 secret accounts that he doesn't. It's like, maybe he doesn't. Or maybe Nick literally said, you don't get access to any of the accounts. I'm going to pay you an allowance into a PayPal account. Get fucked, right? But I don't think there's any proof at this stage. This is just like is this the first filing or like an amended filing? Like,
to make Nick pay support to her until the divorce is finalized. Nick is lucky he lives in Texas because the maximum amount of temporary support is $5,000 or 20% of the paying spouse's average monthly gross income, whichever one is less. I say it's pretty safe to say he'll be paying her $5,000 a month tax-free until the divorce is finalized. The judge will likely grant this because she already said she doesn't have access to community accounts. So if $20,000 is nothing, then what's fine?
Like, I don't know. You keep saying the judge will grant this, but we haven't seen. I'm pretty sure this for these types of injunctions, you would need to see a response first, and then the judge would have to decide between the two. No.
$20,000 a month.
You know how much money I was making back then when I made that comment?
How much?
$20K a month.
That's still a lot of money. That's a shit ton of money.
We make that, we make that in an hour.
No.
It's all about comparisons.
Fifth, and this is something we all could have seen coming, she wants to be permitted to retrieve her things from Soda's house with a third party. The third party will likely be a family member or the police. I would be surprised if it's another streamer or if it's streamed at all. The judge will 100% grant this request to retrieve her belongings. It's ironic on the surface he bigged up Molina to the public on his streams, liking this clip of him talking to Agent Zero.
The biggest thing I'm ever spending money on actually is a divorce, because when you split everything in half, that's a pretty big paycheck.
But that's scary, bro. Okay.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm not worried about it. But no, I couldn't even do 5 cars if I wanted to.
That's actually scary, bro. Like you dead ass worked for that, you know.
Yeah, but she helped. She actually was a very integral part of the channel.
I don't know your dynamic, but
no, I mean,
half?
Yeah, it's fine. I'm not. It's okay. Trust. Yeah. You know, I don't want to speak too highly of her, but you should meet her when she's great.
What's her name?
Malena. Yeah, she's great. If you want to give it a shot, you can. I wouldn't mind. I just want her to be happy.
But yet she is telling the court she's a victim of financial abuse. Either she is lying or he is. Who do you believe?
Leon, unless you know a reason not to, I imagine you'd load your complaint up, or you'd load your first thing up basically as much as you can, as long as you're not getting in legal trouble for it. Why would you not? Like, allege these things, see how the other side responds, see what the judge grants. Like, why would I feel my gut feeling is that this is standard practice. Like in cases where you know a complaint is going to survive, like say like motions to dismiss and everything, you always file them anyway. Why not? Why would you not? It's like part of your due diligence almost. Unless I guess your lawyer's going to charge you, you know, like they're not going to, you wouldn't tell somebody, I want you to go and invent like 50 different things to put in here because now you're spending, you know, $100,000 on some bullshit complaint. But if there's like boilerplate shit you can throw in, why would you not?
But I can't say there's no like fighting or anything. So if anyone's looking for fighting or drama, it's not.
Man, we got a lot of mileage out of this clip. This is like the 4th time it's played.
It's not there.
But Molina's not done yet. There's one big thing she also wants Nick to cover. Molina wants Nick to pay for her attorney fees, which is standard, but she wants him to pay for fees, appraisals, actuaries, accountants, and so forth. Since Molina was the equivalent of a stay-at-home wife and does not have access to the funds, the judge is likely to grant this request also. That's right. Like I said in the first video, everything including OTK will be audited. I am 100% sure they do not want some auditor going through their books seeing how much money is coming in versus how much is going out, since Nick announced himself as an owner on October 27, 2020. All vehicles will be appraised along with their YouTube and Twitch channels and any other asset he owns or acquired after they got married on September 25th, 2015. This is the nasty part of divorce where Nick is going to pay people to make sure Molina is aware of every penny she can walk away with from this marriage. It's a hard pill to swallow. To add a little cherry on top, she wants Nick to pay for her legal fees forever when it comes to the divorce. In the event it goes to trial and she appeals, she wants Nick to pay for it. This is why it's huge for Nick to settle ASAP to eliminate going to trial and her appealing. She has literally all the leverage, and the accountants she hires are going to have to go through all of their finances with a fine-tooth comb. In terms of the divorce settlement, I was wrong about them owning the house. His fans quickly brought it to my attention. It's Soda's house, so I did some digging. And
was this guy good, or is he just like a tabloid YouTuber? I'd say he's like a bit above tabloid YouTuber. I don't think he's great, but he's not like the worst.
Yes, it's still Soda's house. I do not watch them or know the lore, so I just assume Nick being a multi-millionaire.
Her Melena's friends, she was probably convinced to be vindictive. We have no idea if that's true. We don't know anything about that. And Molina was like a pretty big part of Nick's stream and getting it all set up and everything, so I would make that assumption.
His house, so I did some digging, and yes, it's still Soda's house. I do not watch them or know the lore, so I just assumed Nick, being a multi-millionaire, would own the house he lived in. But the house is inconsequential to the millions Molina's going to walk away with. Even the $300,000 in spousal maintenance is chump change should the divorce process extend past the 10-year mark on September 25th, 2025. The big fish in the divorce is not even the fact that she currently owns approximately 45% of his YouTube channel because it was started June 7th, 2014, a little over a year before they got married. That percentage of equity in the YouTube channel grows each day until the divorce is granted. And if it's is true that he began streaming on Twitch in 2016, Molina is legally entitled to half the channel's revenue because she owns half of it. It's a family business. She also is legally entitled to half the value of his shares in OTK. The big fish in this whole divorce is Nick and his investments. Nick is a smart guy and has been rich for a long time. If this next clip is true, Molina will walk away from this divorce easily with $7.5 to $13 million off this one investment.
How do you do with the stock market?
Oh, fantastic.
You know what's crazy? I put $750K into Nvidia.
When?
Before it exploded.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Wait, so you're chilling.
I'm rich as f now.
Wait, when did you put it?
Literally like 4 or 5 years ago.
Jesus. Seriously?
Yeah, rich as f.
Oh my god.
It's crazy.
You 750K 5 years ago.
All the money that I had up until that moment, yeah, just threw it in that bitch.
This clip came out in June 2023, and 4 to 5 years ago, Nvidia stock was super cheap. For the sake of argument, let's just say he did buy in January 2018 when Nvidia stock was $608 a share. $750,000 would net him.
This would be my guess. I don't know anything about Nick's. Wait, did I just look up the wrong stock? I'm sorry, I looked up Tesla for some reason. I don't know anything about Nick's temperament, but I don't think anybody would have held through this much of an increase. Like, I feel like if this stock, if you put in 750K and your stock is appreciated in like a year, 500% or whatever, you think you're holding all the way through this? I don't know.
Roughly 123,000 shares. Let's say he never sold any because why would he? He's making millions from Twitch and YouTube. Those shares today have a value of $124.92 per share at the time of this recording, with a current value of $15 million. But wait, it gets better.
Wait, is that even true? Hold on. Nvidia. He said 750K in 5 years ago or whatever. 750K times, it'd be 750K times 18, right? Basically. It'd be about 13.5 million. Okay, never mind. I don't remember what he came up with.
2 cents per share at the time of this recording, with a current value of $15 million. But wait, it gets better. If Nick bought the stock in January 2019, the value of his investment is worth more because the stock price in 2019 was $3.57 in January, and that $750,000 investment would have netted him roughly 210,000 shares, bringing the current value to a whopping $26 million. Now, sure, he could be trolling because, you know, watching Nick is like watching two truths and a lie. Do I think he invested in Nvidia? Yes. Do I think he is rich as fuck? Yes. Do I think he sunk $750,000 into Nvidia when it was dirt cheap? No. But it's clip like these that Molina will be sure to get to the bottom of, because it could be $7.5 to $13 million in community assets she owns. I imagine right now, if Nick has not done so already.
Is it just me, or do law tubers have some of the worst pretrial assumptions? It's similar to how bad legal mindsets analysis of your I don't. There's a lot of things I could say. I don't know. I'll just say the analysis is very, 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 very bad, and a lot of them should know better. But I think there's probably some. There's some. Like, you're instantly given a lot of credibility because you passed the bar, and so you can say basically anything you want, and nobody's really going to call you out on it. But yeah, there's a lot of retarded shit that gets said.
From the looks of her file, and he has it, Nick is going to have to respond to a request for documents. Molina's super divorce lawyer, and she has one of the best divorce lawyers in Texas, has likely requested the last 3 years of all banking statements, credit card statements, investment account statements, and the last 3 years of taxes that were filed on their behalf. After a judge rules in her favor for likely all the requests, the super lawyer will hire a super certified divorce financial accountant, and the auditing process will begin. This process will take months to conclude, and Nick will also hire his own financial team to perform the same job. Nick's lawyer will also draft up a response to her request for temporary support and hopefully address the financial abuse allegations, which is the biggest red flag. It's crucial that he addresses the financial abuse allegations because it's a form of domestic violence. As I explained earlier, it can impact the division of community property. It's a shame if she honestly does not have control of significant community assets to pay attorney fees and expenses. Sounds like she doesn't have access to any bank accounts with significant value. During a divorce, you cannot legally refuse her access to bank accounts she normally had access to unless she never had access to them to begin with. If this is true, she will have a slam dunk case for financial abuse because she's likely been abused and didn't know it until she reached out to a lawyer. If Nick said there is no drama and there's
he hasn't passed. No, I'm not talking about this guy. I'm talking about there are a couple of like internet lawyers that have talked a lot about stuff that I'm involved in. Just some of the things they say are just like fucking retarded. But
fighting, why is she making the courts aware of him allegedly financially abusing her? I wonder how Nick is going to try to spin this to his loyal fans, how there's no trauma. I'm sure he'll farm this like he farmed the breakup, like he's farming the divorce. Let me know in the comment section who you believe is telling the truth.
Do people in the US just go to a lawyer, run up the bill, then ask for the other person to pay for it if they win? It depends on there are certain types of cases where you're allowed to ask for legal fees. Sometimes they're built into the statutes that give you that give rise to the cause of action to actually sue people, and other times they can be awarded as like part of like secondary damages or whatever. It just depends on the thing. But I believe that most of those provisions will say they have to be like they have to be reasonable attorney fees. So like let's say let's say that my landlord scams me out of like $2,000 in rent. I can't fly to California, fly to New York, and hire like 7 teams of the most like high-powered lawyers of all time, you know, billing me $1,700 an hour and rack up like $250,000 of legal fees, filing a complaint, and then say you owe me $2,000 in rent plus $250,000 in legal fees. Like I think they're like reasonable provisions. I think that are built into this stuff. I feel like lawyers are a bit like doctors, unless they're talking about a specific field they specialize in. They can be just as dumb as anyone else, even about things in their broader field. Yeah, but I mean, that's true for like everybody, right? Everything is cringe. Go live your life. Post what you want. Someday we'll all be dead and none of this matter anyway. Space. Okay.